Hi everyone out there, hi and hello to the Hodinkee watch community. My name is Holger Henning and I'm from Germany, and I would like to contribute to my watch story today by showing and introducing to you a very special watch that I really do love and adore a lot. And this is a Fortis Flieger Chronograph, a steel watch, which I gave myself to celebrate my graduation from the School of Architecture back then when I was graduating from university. And at that time I was already heavily into being interested and fascinated by watches. I started collecting, if you would want to call it that way, at early ages, being interested and fascinated by sports chronographs, for example from Seiko. Gold-plated versions I had to have with 12 years old only, so that was quite unusual, but it really kind of hooked me on that. And then later on I collected swatch watches, like the colorful plastic watches we all know and we all have a relationship with. Those were the classic swatch watches, and then it was the scuba watches and also pop watches and others. And then later on I kind of got back to the more serious watches, which is chronographs, again Seiko steel sports chronographs. And then I was looking into the windows of the jewelry shops and looking at all these, at my times then, quite expensive watches such as Omega, especially Speedmaster, also Rolex watches. So I always wanted to get myself one of these watches one day. So I was just eyeing all these watches every time I was downtown in the high street or at the malls looking at these watches. But for the first step, my funds were not sufficient enough to give myself one of these desirable watches. So I gave myself this chronograph from Fortis for my graduation, and that was back then in 2003. So at that time, it retailed for a good 800 euros at that time, which was a lot of money for me, having just started with my first job. But I had to have it, and I bought it. And it usually had, originally it had a black leather strap. And I changed the straps throughout the years, and I got this watch regularly serviced and overhauled. This is a watch which was a professional tool watch. It's a pilot watch, a pilot Flieger chronograph. The case of the watch used to have an anti-reflective, I wouldn't say coating, it's more or less of a treatment. The German word is mikrosabliert, which made it anti-reflective in the cockpit. However, I never used it as a pilot watch because I cannot fly a plane and I neither have a license, but I loved it a lot and I used the chronograph function heavily through my professional career so far. So I really do love this watch, and I gave this case a special treatment. As you can see, it's now not anti-reflective anymore. It's more polished now. It took me quite some time to, let's say, modify it or mod it in a way that I now do love it even better and even more, because it now has a polished steel case, which with all of these reflects in the light really are quite adorable, in my opinion, I think. So I really do love this watch, and it does get a lot of wrist time even. In the meantime, I was able to even collect those watches I desired to have back then. So these are a few Rolexes and also Omega, it's Maurice Lacroix, it's some other brands. So my professional career provided myself the funds and resources that I could even allow myself to purchase these originally much desired watches. But I'm still giving this watch a lot of wrist time because I really do love it, and I know that I will pass this watch on to my son later sometime. Well, it hopefully is a couple of decades away, but I will give that to my son then, and hopefully he will just appreciate it the same way I do. So this to me is my special watch I would like to show you today, and I really do love it, and I'm looking forward to any comments you may would like to share. So Hodinkee community, thank you very much for watching this video. Take care, stay healthy, and be well, and then talk to you soon sometime. Thank you.